Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability. Welcome to another episode of Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability, www.svtags.org. And tonight I'm really excited to have a local artist, and also you do some other amazing things. And we met a little while ago at Montalvo, Paul Sable.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi, Heather.
Yeah, I'm so excited that you're here today, and your stuff is amazing.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
From the cabinet making to the Burningman stuff that you've done, it's pretty amazing work.
Thank you.
But before we start talking about the art, tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from the Bay Area originally, or?
No, actually, I was born in New York, in Manhattan, and I was my first 26 years in New York, and then I finally got smart and moved to California.
Did you go to school there for art, or did you?
Yes, I did. My mother was an artist. My father was an architect.
Wow.
And my mother used to do life drawing classes in the house. And when I was a little kid, we were having life drawing classes in the home.
So you were in there drawing the nude figures?
Yeah, I had
home?
nude models when I was like 7, 8 years old. It was really great.
That's awesome.
And my father was an architect, and he, with my very creative family, we spent a lot of time in museums. And my mother sent me to the Art Students League. We did a lot of theater and concerts and Philharmonic and all this stuff. And so it was all big cultural history there.
It's a little different, the art culture here, museums.
Yeah.
On a cold day,
Yeah.
you go to the art museums. People on a cold day here, they still go outside a lot, right?
That's right,
So it's a little different.
Yeah, I still live in museums. We did museums all the time.
And you said in Manhattan?
Manhattan, yeah.
Manhattan.
I was
So you
born.
were there just downtown proper then?
Well, yeah, I lived on the Upper West Side, but everything's accessible in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you went to school for art then, or what was it?
Yeah, I went to Music and Art High School.
Okay.
In Manhattan.
Wow.
And then I went to Antioch College, and got my degree in art. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in art, and from Antioch College, and I studied a year abroad. I spent a year in France. I've been traveled around the world,
And you have a cabinet making business too.
I do. Well, I do. I guess most artists have to have something else that they do, so that's what I do. I'm a master woodworker.
Well, yeah, and there was a heated debate when we met at Montalvo about that with one gal about
Right.
You can't sell your art. It's
Yeah.
it's got to be the
Right.
in your heart, and it's not about the selling of it. But you have to make a living too.
No, it's
so.
good to it's good to
Yeah.
sell it, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to depend on it. So it's good to have some kind of a real job.
So
Yeah.
you talked about getting a couple big commissions, and
Yes.
tell us about your artwork and how that started. So you did you move here for that, or did you teach, or how did you?
I've
transition?
always been an artist ever since I'm a little kid. So I for a very long time it was a very expensive hobby, and I've done mobiles, I've done hanging sculpture, mobiles for a lot of different things, and I've later on in the 80s. I started doing these light sculptures. So I've done many different forms. And these light sculptures were amazing innovation because this was 25 years ago. Nobody was doing light sculpture.
Can we get a close-up of one of these? I don't know which one. You want to get a close-up of the one behind him,
And if
maybe?
you could turn off the lights, it would make a big difference. Because what happens is that there's an actual sculpture, and then the sculpture is producing a light painting on the wall behind it. So it's a...
So the kind of, can we get a close-up of, there we go, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but with less light, can you...
and then you have some controls here.
Can
so
you get to the
change.
top of the sculpture where the image is being projected?
There you go.
And then turn off some light would be great, and then you guys can see. This is called Quetzalcoatl. So there's actually a presence, like an angelic presence, and wings of an angel there and stuff.
If you can go to the top a little bit
Can
more.
you go up a little higher with the camera?
Go up a little higher so you can get, yeah.
Is it possible to turn off the lights
there you go.
temporarily?
So yeah, and you can see the colors changing, and you actually have a remote control
Yeah.
that'll change the colors.
I do, and this
there you go.
Right, it's an LED light source with 4 different programs that'll do different speed changing.
Okay.
It can stop on any color you like. It can also be changing. I like the slow moving changes. They're about 10 seconds for each color.
Well, and interesting because behind you it looks kind of more purple, but on screen it looks more blue.
Right, right.
So if you can you change it with your remote right now, or is
I
it
have
just
to I think I have to stand up to do that.
Oh, that's okay.
But
Okay.
it's easier if you just
Well, I think we
just
get the
give
idea.
it a minute.
We can turn the lights back up and
See, if you give it a minute, you can see it's changing.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah.
So this was very, very innovative.
Okay.
And I actually made about 50 of these.
50.
And in the late 80s.
Okay.
And I've sold most of them. I have about 10 left.
And are they at your house, or do you display them?
They're in my studio, and well, I have some there's a gallery in San Jose called Collide Gallery on 4th.
Okay.
I have
And that's South 4th Street
South
for people
4th.
called Collide.
Collide Gallery, and I have some there, and I have some in a gallery in Santa Cruz called the Art of Santa Cruz,
Oh, cool.
Santa Cruz Artisans.
Okay.
And online, I have 'em on my website, which is artforhealthcare.org, and I have some in my. The actual sculptures are mostly in my studio.
So I'm going to pull up a slide right now too. So I think the first slide is another one of the and that gives kind of another look at the color range.
Right.
And we could pull that down. So you said you made 50 of them originally. Was that for commission, or was that?
No, these were just a labor of love. This was like a. These are like sort of like a really important part of my life. It was like a spiritual thing.
Okay.
I actually did a 3-month meditation group, and after that I had this inspiration to do these things, and it came from like a real spiritual place.
So the process of making them was a spiritual thing.
The process, yeah, and this is kind of like unplanned. I like when I make them, I don't like plan ahead, and I just sort of let my intuition, And then what happens is that the tips are like they're sharpened. They're like sharpened.
Okay.
And it's all very intuitive, and they're not like following any specific pattern. And then when I first put a light inside and I saw these images they were creating, it was a really exciting thing, because they're really like there's like an angelic presence that each one is presenting.
It's really pretty.
They're amazing.
We're going to pull up another slide right now, which
Okay.
is this is something else you do.
This is a mobile. This is a mobile that I was commissioned. There's a great story behind this one.
Well, tell us the story on this.
This is called The World Within.
Okay.
And it's in the Waltham Children's Hospital in Boston,
Okay.
Waltham, Massachusetts. And I got a call from an agent in Boston, my agent Pam Wilkins, who's my favorite agent, and she said, "We need a mobile. The hospital's opening in 6 weeks. In 6 weeks, we need a mobile. Can you do it?" I said, "Okay, sure."
6 weeks. Wow.
Sure.
We can pull that down.
We can do it. So I said, "Okay, we'll do it." And then this is also interesting about sustainability, because I usually work in plexiglass.
Okay.
These are all plexiglass, and most of my mobiles up to that point were made out of plexiglass. But they said, "Oh, we can't use plexiglass because you can't get a fire rating. It's good. When it burns, it gives off chlorine gas. So this is not a good thing.
Chemical.
Not a good thing for hospitals. They don't
Right,
like
a children's hospital at that.
So we found this amazing material called Varia,
Okay.
which is an ecological plastic,
Okay.
and it has a Class B fire rating. Can be used in hospitals and schools and stuff.
So is it compost of glass then?
It's the sheets in that material. They come in colored sheets, just like plexiglass.
Okay, but it's glass. Or
But
other
it's
compounds.
it's a synthetic product, but it's made from all organic materials. So it's not oil based.
Okay.
It's non-toxic. When you cut it and work it, it's non-toxic, and it's safe to put in a hospital, which is really great. It's really great for me, because then I learned about this material, Varia.
Which is
It's
great.
made in the United States in a company called 3Form. And so that was my first introduction to it.
And so you had 6 weeks to produce
I had
that.
6 weeks to produce it. So then
And get it there and install it.
So then we ordered the material, and they said, "Oh, we don't keep the material in stock. We have to make it. We have to
Wow.
make it because it's so
Wow.
expensive. It costs
Yeah.
$1,000 a sheet. $1,000 for a 4x8
And
foot
how
sheet.
many, like, we're not supposed to talk about price, but how many sheets did it take to
It
make?
took about 10 sheets. So,
Wow.
and then
And then how did you ship it? Did you have to take it there
well,
yourself?
I
or
cut it
crate
and fabricated it, and then I put it in a crate.
Okay, and then shipped it.
And then I went with it. They paid me extra to go and install it, so I
Right.
supervised
Of
the
course, they want the artist to be there installing
Yeah,
it.
I
They
like
have
going-
an opening for you or whatever.
So very often they don't let me go on the lifts or anything,
Ah.
but they give me a crew and we put it
Okay.
together. It's really fun. That's
So-
one of the greatest parts of my business.
So your process then with your art, it varies then from project to project.
Yes, I design-
Sometimes it's very specific and
Right.
linear and architectural where you
Right.
have a space, but then other times it's not so much.
Very often I design it for the space. It's designed for the size and the shape of the space. And there's a waterfall piece that I did for the Boston Children's Hospital, that was, they wanted a water type piece, so I had some parameters of what they wanted. So I made a piece that looked like water.
So your inspiration for your projects, where does that come from? I mean, we talked about this, but the other inspirations on other things.
That's a really hard thing. I mean, what I really try to do is I try to be playful. And I always tell people it's like I feel like I'm in kindergarten. You know, there's a lot of levels of sophistication of what I do, but the end result is I wanted the physical part of it to, like, why and how it's hanging and all that. I like that to disappear. And I like it all to just be pretty colors and nice things moving, and for me it's like, you know, kindergarten, and that's my motivation. A lot of my stuff does go in children's hospitals, and the kids love it, and it's playful and colorful. And
let's pull up. I'm behind on the slides, so let's pull up slide 3 now.
Okay.
So this is another one. Is this Mobile, or
this is a Mobile, and it's the front entrance to the Boston Children's Hospital, which is Harvard University Teaching Hospital.
Okay.
And this is the biggest piece I ever did. I got over 6 figures for this one. That was a very big deal for me.
And how many pieces of installation did you do?
There's 54 windows, and it's 158 feet long. This is just, each picture is only a part of it.
Okay.
So it's the entire front entrance.
Okay.
And
so there's what, like
there's a couple of hundred.
6 more areas like this, or 10 maybe?
Yeah, each one is probably about 50 feet, so that's about a third. Each one is about a third of it, so there's like, it's 158 feet, so, and there's about 200 hanging pieces in that piece. I call it Calliope Dance.
Let's pull that down. And how long did this one take you to produce?
That one I had a lot more time.
You didn't have 6 weeks
that one
on
I had
that
a
one.
lot more time. They didn't have a big rush on that one, thank God, because that one took a lot more time to make. I would say a couple of months.
Okay.
I worked on it.
And was that a juried process? Did you bid on that, or how did that come about?
The way it works with the hospitals is that they have a budget, and they want to put, they give the art consultant a budget, and then she brings in the artist.
I see.
So my art consultant, it's the same one that did the wall.
So you
thing.
had to do some drawings or something.
I
and
did
show
drawings,
them.
I present, and then they give me a budget, and I say, this is what I'm going to do. And then they like it. But they're essentially, the jury is already done by the art consultant. So, you know, she's picked me.
Awesome.
And then she picked me for the lobbies and the front entrances, which is kind of fun.
So, and you got into the LED lights, and you did something for Burningman. Unfortunately, the photo you sent me was a PDF, so I couldn't. We can only use JPEGs. But people can look that up on your website, maybe.
Yeah, it's on my website.
Tell us about the Burningman piece that you did and how that came about.
So yeah, I met a guy in Santa Cruz in 2014, and he had been to Burning Man 4 times. I'd never been. And he said, I want to go to I want you to come to Burning Man, and I want to build an art car. I said, okay, let's build an art car. So, and he funded it, which was great. We spent over 15 grand.
And was
on
it an art car or an art train? Did I hear you?
It's an art car.
Art car.
It was my truck and a trailer,
Okay.
and we put a framework on it and about 5,000 LEDs.
5,000 LEDs.
yeah.
Right. We don't even talk about the pricing again, but that must have been pretty expensive too.
Yeah, we spent a bunch of money on it and a lot of time.
And did you source the LEDs from China? Because I know now there's some local LED companies that are doing stuff, but where was it?
Most of the stuff does come from China.
Yeah.
But there's a company in Oakland called Cool Neon.
Okay.
Which is the more sophisticated stuff that's programmable.
Okay.
I get from Cool Neon. And then a lot of the stuff does, so like the strip lighting and the basic stuff comes from, you just get it in a hardware store or a lighting distributor.
Have you ever visited where they produce it in China?
No, I haven't.
No?
I haven't been to China.
That would be a fun trip.
Haven't been to China.
Let's pull up another slide.
Sure.
Behind here again. So
Okay.
are these LEDs then?
These are all the basic light source. That's an acrylic pyramid with a base.
So on the right, it's with the lights off.
Right, exactly.
On the left, it's with the
Right.
Or, sorry, the right, the lights are on, and then the right, the left, the lights are on.
Correct. Exactly. So
So
it's the same piece, but one's with the light and one's without. So in the base of the pyramid is an LED light source, which is the same as all the others, except for this one. This is a little more complex.
And it's programmable.
It's programmable. It has 4 different speed controls, and it has 12 different colors. It actually has they all come with a remote.
We can pull that down.
Maybe you could show
the
come with a
remote there.
little remote control, so you can stop it on a single color.
Can we get a little close-up of here? I'll hold it
Sure.
if we can get a close-up of that. So it has 12 different...
You can stop it on any of 12 colors, and you have 4 different speed controls.
Okay.
I like the slowest one because it's kind of subtle.
There you go.
But each one comes with a remote like that.
So that doesn't just stay red, then it'll go purple, green, whatever.
Right.
And so it's probably spectacular then, the image itself, then does it go
they,
up?
Well, yeah, they do these amazing images.
Same thing.
They do some very interesting images. Now in the 80s when I made these, I used halogen light source and a motor with a glass color wheel because they didn't have this technology. This is very new. I was kind of excited. And in the 80s, I was trying to develop this. I wanted
So when did this one come out?
This came out about 10 years ago.
And is it local or is it overseas?
No, this is
too?
international. Everybody has. And when they first came out, the LED bulbs, they were $80.
Okay.
Oh, you know, they were really expensive.
Good. Yeah, you're not asking for the $80.
Right. But now you can get an LED bulb for that for like $5-6. So.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's great. The technology is wonderful.
Yeah, at the National Association of Broadcasters convention, when I first started going about 5 years ago, they had the different trade show LED stuff, you know, that you put in the floor and programmable different images. It's amazing what they've come up with. So when you first started being an artist, did you have to be green and sustainable to kind of come up with your materials?
No,
so some artists.
No, we weren't even thinking about that in the old days. We didn't think about it. And not only that, but I've been working with plexiglass for 50 years. And plexiglass is toxic, and I've actually had some health issues around it. Talk about challenges. I really did. So
Well, so like the artist that made this from Santa Cruz for me, you know, they're always thinking about reclaiming materials.
Yeah, that's
because
good.
when they're first starting out, they don't really have the money to go buy the new materials. And then if you're trying to pitch something, so some artists say that that's, you know, and it's interesting. You have artists that actually work with the dump and pulling stuff from the dump. But I always usually ask artists that question. But it sounds like you've been doing this a long time, so you don't need to do that.
I try not to use. Well, I mean, you know, most of my stuff I just buy it new.
Let's pull up another slide again. I'm again behind the slides.
Okay.
So this is something in your wood making.
Yeah, this is a harpsichord that I built in the 80s also. This was like 25 years ago. I built it for my wife.
So what's the difference between a harpsichord and a piano?
Okay, the harpsichord is antedates. It was before the piano even existed. This is a harpsichord.
So there's a different sound.
It's a completely, like in a harpsichord, there's a little mechanism that actually plucks the string, like a guitar.
Okay.
In the piano, you hit the string with a hammer.
And so you did this entire thing from scratch?
I did.
What kind of wood is it?
There are 7 different woods. There's 5 hardwoods and 2 softwoods. It's primarily Eastern black walnut, the case.
It almost looks like redwood.
It does. Well, the pig is a little bit warm, the lighting, but the thing itself is a dark walnut. And then the soundboard is a special wood. It's a Sitka spruce, which is the most famous, the best tone wood on the planet. And I went and specifically selected it.
Where do you get that? You can pull that down.
I get it from there was a lumber yard in Oakland.
Okay.
McBeath Hardwoods.
Okay, so you didn't have to travel out of state for that.
Well, it comes from Sitka, Alaska.
Okay.
And I went there on the day when they received a full lift of Sitka spruce.
So you got to pick everything first.
And you have to specifically look for certain things when you buy. So it's a big deal. And I studied about 2 years before I actually made it. And with soundboard, that's a whole thing. I can talk for hours about harpsichords because I spent a lot of time working on it.
I know, and I just got the 10-minute warning, so I better get to the rest of the questions. So one of the questions I had, do you teach?
Okay.
Are you teaching people how to do some of the things
I have done some teaching, and I'm mostly kids. I've taught my own kids and some other people in some classes. And I'm also a licensed captain, and I teach sailing.
Interesting.
I'm a Coast Guard captain. That's a whole nother side trip.
We'll have to have you back to talk
another
about
story
that.
about that. But
we'll
yes,
have
I
to
do
that
teach
on the boat.
And because I went to Montalvo, I was very motivated to learn more about teaching.
So that's what I wanted to ask. So Montalvo, was that? I was going to ask if you do a lot of commission work. Was that something that you did with them commission, or was it for? What did you do with Montalvo?
Well, with Montalvo, I basically ran into their arts education director, Stephanie. I built a space palette, which we really haven't talked about yet.
We haven't talked about that yet.
My friend Tim Thompson is the inventor, and I built the physical part of it. I did the woodworking.
Okay.
And it's an amazing interactive art piece. It's actually one of the most advanced interactive art pieces on the planet.
It's coming up in a couple of slides
here, too. It's called the Space Palette.
The Space Palette.
And we had it at the First Friday thing so Stephanie came to the
Montalvo,
first. No, this was before Montalvo.
Oh, First Friday.
Stephanie was at the First Friday. Okay. She met me and Tim, and she loved the Space Palette, and we talked about it. And she said, "Come to our artist mixer." And I'm also going to go on March 5th. I'm going to go to a teaching seminar, learn how to bring art into your classroom.
Okay.
So I'm going to learn more about
Which
teaching.
is talking about the integration, which is
Right,
where we met.
So it made me want to teach more, which is great.
Let's pull up the next slide, and
Okay.
we'll try to get to this. So this is it here then. This is
Yeah, this is the space palette. That's my partner Tim Thompson, who invented it, and it's essentially a musical instrument that you move by waving your hands in the open spaces, and it generates music and video.
So in the front, you move your hands,
Right.
and in the back area, the video and the images change as you're moving the hands, and the music changes.
Exactly.
So it's an interactive piece.
It's completely interactive. It's completely intuitive. You don't need any instructions. You can just walk up to it, and you can be a musician and an artist.
And so you did the woodworking on it?
I did the woodworking on it. Yeah, that one is cedar, aromatic cedar. And there's 4 in existence, and some of them I've made with exotic woods and all kinds of good stuff.
And is there LED lights on that one as well? Or?
There's an LED light on the oval in the front,
Okay.
on the palette.
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah.
There's
and
an
then the
LED
back is
strip.
a screen then.
The rest of it is programmed. There's like many programs. There's like a dozen programs running, sound and music programs and light programs.
Cool, we can pull that down. And again, that's at 4th Street, you said?
It's at the Collide Gallery in 4th Street right now. There is one there.
What's been the biggest challenge for you as an artist?
Well, I think it was the recession in the 08 was really hard, because all the hospitals, they said they just wanted to keep their employees. They didn't have any money for art. So, and that's been a challenge. It's been, you have commissions come and go, and then lately
But you had something to fall back on, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I have my
So
other
you
business, which is great. And like I said, it was always a very expensive hobby, but now, then I started making money with it, which is great.
I think I'm behind on the slides again,
Okay.
so I'm going to pull another one up so we get to
Okay.
all the
Okay.
good stuff.
Okay.
So these are some more of the ones that we're looking at here.
Right. This is a show. I had a one-man show in Chicago. And I put little dividers between the pieces, because each piece projects. See, every piece projects on the back and on the sides and on the ceiling. So I made them a little individual.
Is there 4 pieces there or 3?
There's 3 there.
3,
There's
okay.
3 there. And they're all in the same room.
Well, let's pull that one down. So what's been the biggest win for you then as a local artist and as an artist?
The biggest win is,
Or just personally?
I think the biggest win for me has been my commissions in the Boston Children's Hospital. I did, significant, great recognition, great compensation, and I loved it. That's what I really want to be doing, is big commissions. I love doing that, and I love doing them for hospitals I do a lot of things in corporate venues as well. I did a bunch of things in Silicon Valley here, at Johnson & Johnson and Cadence Corporation and L'Oreal Corporation, and they have pieces in their permanent collections of mine.
Let's pull up another one. I think I'm behind because I haven't
Okay.
gotten to the banner one.
Oh, okay.
There's the banner one.
Okay, so yeah,
this is the banner one.
All right, so the one on the right is the banner. I designed those banners for the Boston Children's Hospital as well.
Okay.
And it's the same theme with the circles and the colors. It's basically all the spectral colors and circles, and they're with intersections and stuff. And the one on the left is at the Omaha Children's Hospital, Boys Town Children's Hospital in Omaha. And I designed it specifically for that space.
And is that one made of the
That
same
one's
material?
plexiglass. That's plexiglass.
Okay.
Right.
And we can pull that down.
That was an earlier piece.
I think let's pull up another one really quick because I think we've got at least 3 more.
Okay.
And is that the same one we have
Yeah,
here?
that's this one here.
So we can pull that down, and I don't know if somebody wants
Yeah.
to get a close-up of this one here
This is
as
called
well.
Planetary Dreams, and this one this is a great thing. It has 99 programs, so we can actually change this thing to 99 different things. So it goes circles and multiple colors and all kinds of. So this is great, and this one has a speed control and a dimmer, so like you could have it in your home and slow it down and make it either a party time or a slow time. So this has a massive versatility, and I found this beautiful alabaster piece.
I think I want that in my dining room.
This is
Just
beautiful.
kidding.
And
Instead of the regular dining room.
yeah,
thing.
there
I
you
think
go.
it's
It
beautiful.
could actually be
It's awesome.
used for that. It would be great. I mean, it's an art piece, and it's also a light.
Is there something the community can, I think we have this slide's the next one, the community slide. Is there something the community can help you with right now too? Is there a need that you have? Do you need people to talk about your work, or?
Yeah, well,
what's the
I would
need?
love to get representation. If there's an art agent out there or a gallery owner who wants to represent me, I would love that. That's always the hardest part, is marketing for an artist, because we want to make art.
Well, when you say a gallery representing you, you're into galleries, but you want a gallery to actually represent you as like their
well,
PR.
I have pieces that could go in a gallery, and
I
I
see.
also have pieces that I would do as a commission. So it's either an art consultant or an agent would be wonderful, and if you guys know of a great location or something, place where they need a mobile, and I'd
Yeah.
love to hear from you.
My brain is working on all
Okay.
your LED stuff.
That
Is
would be
so
great.
cool. Are there annual events that you do too?
Well, I've done Burning Man. Tim and I do a lot of festivals.
Okay.
We've been to Lucidity Festival and Lightning in a Bottle, and we do a lot of the First Friday things. We've been in the Children's Discovery Museums.
Oh yeah.
We've been
yeah.
in the
and the tech as well, right?
and the
In
Tech Museum. That picture was in the Tech Museum. So we do a lot of stuff. We go around and do community events.
Well, hopefully you'll do an event with us with
I would love
SVTAGS
that.
at some point to,
I would love
to
that.
bring some art out. Let's pull up another slide really quick here. So this is another one of your
The light sculptures.
plexiglass.
Right.
And then we have one more slide, I think, after this. Let's pull that up as well.
Okay.
And more mobiles. It's so beautiful.
Okay, yeah, that's in the Metropolitan Life Building in San Jose, the one on the left. And the one on the right is basically it's a shot of the back of one of my sculptures, showing all the wires, and it's like an interior shot. So it shows, there's a lot of wires going on in there.
We can pull that down.
Cool.
Yeah, so we got a couple minutes left. Is there
Okay.
anything you want to leave the audience with
Yes, I do.
about you and your art? And
Yeah, well, I want to say that we're all here to share our gifts. And I happen to be gifted with a lot of different talents, and I've been showing my gifts in a lot of different ways. And I encourage everybody to do the same. Like, whether you're going to draw or paint or dance or sing, share your gifts. That's what I would recommend to everyone.
I know when I went to San Jose State my last semester, and I had changed semester a couple times, I took an art class, and the gal was like, "You're so good at this. You need to change your majors." And I was like, "Oh boy, I can't
Yeah.
change it again." But I've tried to do a little art, and
It's good.
I think it's wonderful meeting artists that are doing what you guys are doing, and especially when you teach, it's a
Yeah.
great thing.
Teaching is good.
To share that
yeah.
knowledge, because the schools don't often offer it anymore unless you pay
Right.
the big bucks, right?
Right, it's true.
So thank you
That's
so much.
unfortunate. That's the most important thing is music and art in your education.
So people can reach you through your website, and
Yes.
And you have any teaching that's coming up for people? Anything? No.
The next thing we're gonna be at the Unscrews. We're gonna be in Santa Cruz. There's a Burning Man event in Santa Cruz
And
called
it's called the
Unscrews.
Unscrews?
UNSCRUZ.
Interesting.
It's called the Unscrews. It's an official Burning Man event. It's coming up in June.
Oh, I'm getting the wrap sign.
in May.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you to the audience for watching us, and follow us
Okay.
on Twitter and Facebook. And make this a great tags week by conserving, reusing, and rethinking the way that you choose to live here in Silicon Valley and beyond. Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks, Heather. All right.